people you talking about, they spent money on white women. They set up bars and they went playing pool and golf for $1,000 a hole, and they were known to make millions and millions when there wasn't no high taxes, and they were not hindered by white America. They were allowed to see the white America is complete and close all the doors on me. I'm not allowed to work in America, out of America. I was stopped right in my prime just when I started making money. So you can't compare me with nobody like Joe Lewis or nobody.
If you are black, if you are brown, if you are indigenous, and if you are poor, this system is rigged and it is worked to the core, and we gonna unrig it. That's it. And that's all.
That other kind of socialism that revolutionizes the workplace, brings democracy to the workplace for the first time.
So that's one way. And then the other thing is, in my more optimistic days, he's such a perfect endpoint of everything that is toxic and dysfunctional about the United States, about capitalism, about the 80s, that maybe this is the final sort of disgusting burst before we evolve or change to something better.
Talk about some things about why we need a new party. So I thought that'd be a good way to kind of do this. Why do we need a new party? We need a new party because both parties suck.
What are they talking about? Fortified. Are you fortified for the long run? Do you have your cemetery clothes on? Are you coffin ready to live and die for something bigger than you, like a fundamental transformation of a capitalist civilization?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Radical Democracy Show. I know it's been a while since we've last posted on here. It's been, I don't know, you tell me, at least 4, 5, 6 months maybe since our last video on this channel. So just wanted to go live today to let you all know that we are going to be reviving this channel, going to be bringing it back, going to be giving you regular content again on here. Planning to take it in a slightly different direction as we revive it, hopefully a better direction than even what it was before. And so I just wanted to come here and let y'all know, hopefully just sort of get folks used to seeing these alerts and notifications back, let you know that it's real. We are back, and you will, you should be looking out for some more regular content coming from us. It's not just going to be part of the revival. I've my political transformation is never complete. It's a fluid process. I think it is for all of us. And since you saw me last, I think that one of the big things that the big differences you're gonna notice about this channel and myself is that I've completely embraced the label of anarchist. I consider myself now a Black anarchist. I am no longer I'm totally cool with socialists that are truly about building democracy and radical democracy wherever it stands. I think that the idea of radical democracy still applies to the Black anarchist framework, but in time we may see, as we get some new members in here, we may see that the name changes. It's honestly going to be you guessed it, democratic process. So what we're planning and have been planning for a little bit in the background is to revive the channel, really not just as myself alone anymore, but really as a network for, initially it will be a unapologetically Black anarchist network, but we will be trying to build coalition with other anarchists of all different ethnicities, backgrounds, nationalities. We really want to make this an internationalist project and to bring in voices from all across the globe, and not to be so American centric, but to definitely be unapologetically Black in everything that we do. But that does not mean in any way that we are not going to be building coalition with our brown, indigenous, and even, of course, white comrades, and particularly anarchists. I want to bring the core ideology of folks on this platform is going to be, folks that are totally reject the idea of domination and hierarchy, and want to build a more democratic, a radically democratic, future, and through development of dual power projects, more on the ground live reporting, hopefully from different events, and then hopefully bringing in some more content. I hope to launch a book club where we do some revolutionary reading. We're going to be doing some crossover work with some folks that are in that space as well. So we're going to be doing a revolutionary book club. Hopefully our audience will be able to bring, to follow along, to read along, to contribute in every way, shape, and form. Also going to be trying to give the platform over to more folks that don't have a platform, that don't have the power of a platform, and try to give voice to them and lend this platform to them. So shout out to Kathy Lloyd in the comments. I see you. What's up, Kathy? What's up? Raise fist. That's Kwame out there, who you'll see on the network. What's up to Becca? All of my comrades there. So you'll see we're still trying to be interactive with our community. We don't want to ever look like and act like we're better than or above engaging with our community. That's going to be a big part of this still. And so a lot of our shows will still be directly engaging with the comments. Hopefully, we can ignore the trolls. Y'all know me. If you've been watching long enough, you know how I can get sometimes with some trolls in the comments. So we'll try to rise above the troll and engage with good faith, folks in the comments, and try to, again, just give a megaphone to the people, and hopefully start to destigmatize the idea of anarchist ideology. It's not what a lot of people think it is, in like being like chaos. It's not without rules. It's without rulers, right? It's without being ruled. So it's an as in without archy, so without hierarchy. So we just reject all forms of domination, of hierarchy, and we want to move past that. And so here we are on MLK Day, a day that has been largely whitewashed by liberals and of course liberals, and it's been a liberal and conservative project to whitewash MLK and turn him into a less radical version of what he was. I'm not gonna, I didn't prepare a bunch of content for today because, just wanted to get out there and let folks know that we are, we're back. We're definitely back. The channel's back, and to keep an eye out for that. But we got to rebuild. We're starting from scratch essentially. We got our 2,000 subscribers, but as you can see right now from just the viewership right now, it's a lot of folks, they probably haven't seen a notification come through, aren't looking out for us. We're going to be doing more regular content, more scheduled content. So going to be doing a show pretty much every weekend unless something big comes up. We're going to be, again, there's going to be more than just me on here. We are building this as a democratic workplace. So we're going to be giving you some of that process live. We'll bring some of that to you live so that you can get, one of the big tenets of what we're doing is transparency and democracy, right? So we want to be transparent. We want to bring you that transparency. We've got nothing to hide here. We don't pretend that everybody's a CIA op. We're going to be, I'm going to be covering, soon enough. I'm going to come and I got a few stories that I've seen recently that I've had to, I just haven't been able to come out there and discuss, and I really want to discuss them because I think that there's a lot of goofiness going on in online left media, and we got to correct some of that nonsense. And so you see me, you see me around for sure. I was a part of Revolutionary Blackout Network for a while. I have resigned from my post there as of yesterday. I will bring more information about that, make a formal announcement about that soon. But yes, we just, due to irreconcilable ideological differences that we had, I am no longer a member of Revolutionary Blackout Network. And so I want to make sure that we still have a platform and have a place to bring this kind of content to people and to be radical truth tellers always and never to shy away from that. It's something that I've always tried to be. I try to uphold my values, my principles everywhere I go. And one of those principles, as you know, is democracy. And I reject anything that is undemocratic. And so, here I am, and I'm trying to build this thing. I don't want to tear down any former comrades. I appreciate the opportunity for, joining Revolutionary Blackout Network. It was an interesting experience for me for sure. And, I think that just, without having to say go much more into that for now, because again, I haven't collected my thoughts together and tried to organize my thoughts on that. I'd rather just, for now, talk about, the positive and what we're looking forward to next. And so really hope to see the community come back. Shout out to What Up America for that intro music. I wanted to play the whole, I played the whole intro song just as a, as a throwback, thanks to What Up America, who isn't in the chat here, but I'm sure hopefully we'll see them come back into the community. All of the folks from our previous community really loved all of what we had going before. And I apologize for going MIA on y'all and ghosting y'all for so long on here. Honestly, I started working full time, got back into the industry, into software engineering. Y'all know, if you've been watching me a long time, you will have followed along. You'll know that I, struggled for a long time to get back to work. And so I just had to, I had to secure that, I needed the job security, because being able to feed myself, my family, and to try to, be able to bring my, my best self to y'all, I need to first make sure that at least got the baseline of security intact. And, I think I've got that now. I feel, secure in my job, and I feel like I've got enough capacity to be producing content again, and to try to, cut through some of the noise in both corporate media and a lot of what I see as just, inadequate reporting, and if we can even call it that, journalism in online left media. So yeah, welcome back everyone. Mark McKeever, what's up? So good to see you, Mark. Shout out. Mark says who the bleep is this? I know, right, Mark? It's been a while, right? It's been a while. So y'all might see a slightly different version of me. I'm gonna be taking the hat off this time. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more serious. Maybe start wearing some suits. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. Y'all aren't going to see me go all the way there. But you will see it. You will see a new me. So shout out to Mark McKeever. So good to see you. Steve Breedlove says, welcome back, Kamali. We get it. Social reproduction comes first. Exactly. We gotta meet those. What is it? It's who had the pyramid of needs? I forget. Was it Kropotkin? No, I don't know. Who does the pyramid of needs? And you first got to meet like that baseline before, just like physiological needs, food, shelter, that's got to be locked down first before we can get to the point of trying to do like our growing ourselves and developing ourselves as human beings. She's Black. Shout out to She's Black. What's up? Says welcome back. Welcome back to you as well. So glad to see y'all here. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Shout out to Steve Breedlove. Not sure if that's Steve, our old Steve, or if Steve's our new Steve. What's up to our new Steve? And probably a former Steve. We got a couple of Steves. We've got a couple of great Steves in our audience. And so hopefully, yep, Racefist says, as long as the nails stay, the nails will be back. I promise. They're dry and basic right now. I wanted to get the nails done in time for this broadcast, but unfortunately, just life happened, and just getting the setup back and all that going again took a little bit. So you'll see things look a little different here, but not too much different, luckily. And so yeah, the nails will definitely be back. And so yeah, right now, I just wanted to again just come to you, let you know what was going on. And let you know that you're still going to be seeing me out here. I will be making a formal announcement about my leaving Revolutionary Blackout Network very soon. And this is an informal announcement of that, I suppose. And, just letting you know that don't worry, you're still going to be seeing and getting content from me. I hadn't done anything on the network for a little while just because, life and, just the feels, so shout out to everyone. Arif Hassan, what's up? Good to see you. Mark McKeever says, by the way, Democrats are weak yet again. Not shocked. I mean, Democrats are weak. Republicans are honestly almost equally as weak when you look at it from the perspective of kowtowing and bowing down to their owner class, which is really the capitalist class that owns our political system. So they're all weak, really. Let's be all the way real. Republicans can look a little bit stronger, but honestly, it's just optics, because the reality is they're out-facing positions, the positions that they have to take publicly, just align more with their corporate donors, right? The Democrats have to come out here and pretend like they care about giving you things like healthcare or a minimum wage. We saw that did we get a minimum wage increase yet? Anybody? We talked about this long before Biden was elected. Go back and watch the content if you don't believe us. We predicted everything, sadly, and I'm not like happy and like tap dancing on this, because I wish they had proved us wrong. Like I wish they had proved all of us wrong and that they did better than what they've always done. But the reality is, if you've been paying attention, and not everybody has the privilege of paying attention to politics like that. Most Americans, 78%, live paycheck to paycheck. I'm sure the number's even higher now. And just struggling, and so they don't have the privilege, the advantage of what some of us have, myself included, to be able to dive so deeply into politics and the news. And so, but if you pay close enough attention to to our Joe Biden and his 1996 crime bill. 1994 crime bill. I'm sorry. Sorry to do that, comrade. Dropping that on 1996. It's not 1996's fault. 1994 crime bill, 1986 crime commission bill. You knew what you were getting. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. You knew what you were getting. So, Kathy Lloyd says no more duopoly. I say no more electoral politics. Really, I mean, we can go and we can try to do things in like local places, but honestly, look what happened to what's her name in Buffalo, the would have been socialist mayor of Buffalo, New York, who the Democrats came in and joined forces with the the conservatives, the liberals joined forces with the conservatives to fight against socialism, right? And she was actually talking a good game, but let's be real, the anarchist in me is just a little bit past electoral politics as a means of, I'm not completely abandoning the sphere. I don't think that we completely abandon the sphere. I'll still use it as an example from time to time, but this channel is going to focus a lot more on international politics. It's going to focus a lot more on, trying to call out and point out, Western imperialism, just, we got to deconstruct. I could pull up a quote from Martin Luther King where he talks about the three evils that are inextricably linked, and it's racism, militarism, and capitalism. And those three things are inextricably linked. And until we destroy them, all of them, we will not destroy any of them. I would tie into that, patriarchy, and which goes hand in hand with misogyny, xenophobia, and homophobia and transphobia are all inextricably linked, and we are not going to destroy any of those until we destroy all of those. Specifically because of the concept of what some call intersectionality. Bell Hooks, who recently passed, really sad to see one of the greats go, talked about white supremacists, capitalist, heteropatriarchy. And I would I'm sure nowadays we can throw in cis heteropatriarchy into that, and that's the dominant idea. And she always wanted to call those things out and never give an inch, right? So Kathy Lloyd, India Walton, thank you, Tammy. India Walton was the socialist mayor in Buffalo, who they absolutely came in and joined forces, Democrats, Republicans, conservative, liberal, joined forces to destroy and defeat a socialist. So when you see, whose side these people are really on, some people will, far right folks will tell you that, these people are AOC and Nancy Pelosi are all, anarchists according to them. They're not. Surprise, surprise. So how you can support us. You can still support us through the same channels. You can support us on Patreon. You can support us on Coffee. What that's going to do, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to be, again, transparency. So we're going to be making all of our finances public and really showing you how that money gets spent, how, what our income is here. So really, for two reasons. One, trust, right? Just honesty, trust, transparency. So we want to build trust with the public, with the folks that are, this is a requirement under capitalism. If you have to report your finances accurately to your shareholders, to your investors. And if you don't, that's the only thing that you ever see capitalists go to jail for. All right, that's the only thing is when they disobey their owner class, their investor class, right? So that's a requirement. So we should not, it's not that we should just look at capitalism and say everything bad, because a lot of these things aren't unique to capitalism, right? But that is one thing that is, and who's our investors in these sort of crowd-funded platforms? It's you, the people, you, the audience, are our investors, and you deserve transparency. You deserve truth from us. So we don't want to hide the ball from you. We don't want to do anything shady. We want you to see exactly how that money that you're given to us is being used. And really the hope, the dream is to be able to provide jobs for people. I want to move beyond, the dream is to move beyond, wage slavery, period, any kind of wage labor, period. That's the real dream. I got a new puppy, by the way, y'all. Shout out to Boomy here. Maybe I can introduce y'all to Boomy, but Boomy's sleeping right now, so I'm not gonna disturb Boomy, y'all. But you'll meet my puppy soon. So, oh, geez, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. I should have told y'all beforehand. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you. That's amazing. That's incredible. One of the things, part of transparency, I want everybody to know how, we're gonna, and I'll post this somewhere because I think a lot of folks are just, you're good people. You're just amazing. You're incredible. I truly just got nothing but love for y'all. And you're incredible. Thank you so much, Kathy, for the $50 super chat. Kathy says, glad you're back. I want everyone to know the super chats, they take about somewhere between 30 to 40% it goes to YouTube, and then fees when in order to transfer the money out. So we lose about 40% of that. Doesn't get to the creator when we do super chats. So I'll always encourage folks, super chats, I think up to about $10 in the super chat. The way that super chats work, the more you give, the more character limit that you get to write. So if you don't have a lot to write, you really don't need to give a huge super chat. The best way, the most direct way to get money to creators across the board is through Coffee. The platform of Coffee takes the least amount of fees. They literally take nothing directly from them. I pay $5 a month for Coffee, flat fee. And then the only fees that we're charged are the fees from Stripe, which is the platform that does all the financial transactions, which is very common. It's like a 2 to 3% fee. And so that is the best way to get money directly to creators is through our Coffee platform. It's ko-fi.com/radical democracy. Usually there's links in the description on YouTube, but I don't know if that's all set up yet again. So I'll set that back up. Shout out to Kathy. You're amazing. And we deeply appreciate it. I just want everyone to know, when they're doing this, what we're going to try to move towards is moving out of StreamYard, which we spend about anywhere between $25 to $50 a month for this platform that allows us to post that on screen and to host multiple guests. We're going to try to move, unless StreamYard improves their platform a lot, and allows for things like integration with Coffee and Patreon. Then what we're going to do is, I know, Kathy says, gotcha, I wish I knew beforehand. See, this is why, we're trying to be honest. We're trying to be straight up with you. I hate that some folks seem to be, afraid to just say this stuff publicly. But this is we're trying to give you the truth always and forever. And so sorry about that, Kathy. I meant to mention that right away, right off the jump, but just hadn't got to it yet. So I really apologize. You're incredible still, and we'll still get a ton from what you donated. So I deeply appreciate it. We deeply appreciate it. And really, when you're contributing to this platform, I want everybody to know you have always been, and you are continuing to contribute towards a dual power project. What we're trying to do is to develop the institutions that we would like to see replace the institution of capitalism. I don't want to be a part of any organization or any institution that is perpetuating and propagating the system of capitalism. All right. So I'm sick of seeing, in these online left spaces, having, these folks with their capitalist top-down hierarchies. They still have the same structures. They form their business as capitalist structures. They got their CEOs and their CFOs and their COOs, and it's bullshit. And it's capitalism straight up by definition. They have employers, they're the employer, they got their employees. It's straight up capitalism. And it's always like that because you create two classes of people when you form a capitalist structured business. I know this because I formed one. You can look it up, nimblenotes.com. I've seen it all from the inside. I know exactly how it works. So when I speak to you, I'm telling you from lived experience here, and a whole bunch of research, right? So capitalism is defined by the employer-employee relationship. If you have the ability to hire, fire people, if you have a class of people where only certain people are listed on the board of directors, then they are the people with the real power in that organization, and nobody else has that same power. You are creating two classes of workers, and by definition, that is what capitalism is. Okay, so this here is not a capitalist structured business. We will be a worker cooperative. Everyone will have democratic say, and we will be using a process of democracy that I hope to familiarize everyone with, known as democratic consensus. Okay, so democratic consensus is really about consensual democracy, right? We preach consent as leftists, as anarchists a lot. And what that really means is that whenever we're making a democratic decision, we don't want it to just be a majoritarian democracy where essentially 50% plus one are in favor of something happening. We want to make sure that everyone is consenting to any sort of reforms, any sort of infrastructure, anything that affects them directly. I want everyone to have a democratic say. So you're going to see some other folks joining me on this platform. Kwame will be back with he'll be covering some pop culture sort of discussions, labor practices in the gaming community, and as well as like in media in general, like popular media, sort of, movies, film, television, gaming industry. He'll be covering a lot of that content. We'll be collaborating on a lot as well, and then doing things like movie reviews from a leftist, anarchist perspective. And I'll be announcing some of the other folks that will be joining me as democratic cooperative collaborators on this, co-conspirators on this project. Very soon, as they once they are formally joined, they will be we'll be announcing that. I'm really excited about where this is going, y'all. And so this is going to be more than just a channel. This is going to be a network. We are going to be a network, and we hope to be bringing you all kinds of content, but really from a framework and from a core perspective of anarchism, and we're going to be talking about autonomy, a Black autonomy, and Black anarchism, but then also coalition building, and we'll be collaborating with anarchists of all different races, ethnicities, and origins, and we really look forward to that. So Steve Breedlove says, are you familiar with Sociocracy? I find it an alternative, to direct consensus, which can be difficult in all right groups in my experience. So I will look into that, Sociocracy. I will definitely check that out, Sociocracy. Feel free to drop any links to that. Let me see. So yeah, consent decision making. It looks like it is also consent. So let's see if we can see what Sociocracy looks like a little bit here. I'm gonna try to pull up something. I'm literally doing this on the fly, so you'll have to forgive me because I don't have like I don't have anything on this that I know of, so I'm just literally just pulling some stuff up as we go right now. So I'm gonna take a look at Sociocracy and see how it fits with what we're doing here. Let me share my screen here. We'll talk a little bit about Sociocracy, maybe, and compare that to what we have and what we plan to do in here. I know that thing has a new little picture-in-picture here that I'll try out here on StreamYard. So Sociocracy, also known as dynamic governance, is a system of governance which seeks to achieve solutions that create harmonious social environments as well as productive organizations and businesses. It is distinguished by the use of consent rather than majority voting in decision making. So it sounds like it is, a structure that is very akin to what I'm talking about. Consent in decision making, after discussion by people who know each other. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So it sounds like Sociocracy is another name for what we're planning to do here at Radical Democracy Show. So Sociocracy sounds it sounds very familiar to me here. The Sociocratic Circle organization method was developed in the Netherlands by electrical engineer and entrepreneur Gerard Endenberg, and is based on the work of peace activists and educators Betty Cadbury and Kees Boeke. I probably mispronounced that, I apologize, and is a recent instantiation of the approach. Really cool. Let's see, it says organize projects and tasks by groups of people, circles, sharing a specific purpose, aim. Some circles have more general aims, others have more specific aims. I urge everyone, this is great. I urge everyone to check out the Dual Power app. This is exactly the structure that they use in the Dual Power app that they're developing. The Black Socialists in America are developing an app. I've been a fly on the wall, just sort of lurking in there, within the org. I'm a member of the organization, been a contributing member for a long time, just to support, because I do support what they're doing. I've learned a lot about and they've helped my political development a lot, the Black Socialists in America. So hopefully we'll have them on, on sometime in the very near future to talk about some of this. But they are developing an app called the Dual Power app, and this is exactly what it allows. It allows you to create circles of people. Within circles, you can have sort of sub-circles, more specified circles within a single circle. A circle being something like an organization. We would create a circle for our org, the Radical Democracy Channel, and maybe that circle is a circle of a larger, broader, left, anarchist, media circle, or within that circle we may have smaller circles, right? A women, a women's group, a queer, our LGBTQ plus group, sub circles within that can have sort of more specific roles, and then but they still all have, each circle still has to consent to any sort of changes that are being made in the larger organization, the larger circle. So they say, double links between more general and more specific circles provide for two-way flow of information, proposals, policies, reports, feedback. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Consensual decision making. That's exactly what I was describing. Decisions are made by consent, democratic consensus. We're going to be talking about that a lot here, and we'll really let you we'll give you a window into our own democratic consensus processes, just so that you can see that, and that we can, one, simultaneously, be producing some content, but also content that we hope it matters to people. A lot of times, this is sort of a black box, and these organizations become a black box, and you have to just hope that this organization that you're supporting is going to do the right thing, right? But I don't want to wait on that, and I don't want you to have to wait on that. More importantly, I want you to know how things are going and how this works, and you're going to see we're going to develop a constitution that we will abide by. We will have bylaws. We will abide by that constitution, but that constitution will be open to amendment, right? And we will amend it through audience suggestion. Maybe one day, if we build the technology and we have the platform for it, we can open up and provide a circle for the audience, right? And have the audience elect delegates, essentially. Everybody has to be accountable. Any kind of hierarchy has to be justified and has to be able to justify itself, right? And so it has to be accountable, has to be able to be recalled if they're not representing the people properly, right? And it has to be very easy to recall, so that you don't have these politicians that get into power and then do nothing that they said that they were going to do. Them. The squad, we all supported and saw what went down with them, and so we want to be accountable, right? And we want power to always be accountable, or dismantle, or need to be dismantled. So and I like this idea. Feedback loops. Policies have time frames and measurement and evaluation criteria built into them. A circle member can request evaluation sooner than the consented time frame if necessary or useful. Yeah. So objection and under consensual consent decision making, they say also objections are valuable information feedback used to improve a proposal. They must relate to accomplishing the circle's aim. Exactly. This is exactly what we're talking about, right? So I love this. I love this idea. Sociocracy. Steve, thanks for giving a new name to it. It's honestly, it is precisely what we intend to do here. And so this process is exactly what we will be enacting here. So glad to put a name to it. All right. So FL in the building. Shout out to FL. Thank you so much for being here, FL. Love to see you. Longtime comrade, FL. So much love for FL, who has always supported this channel and what our aims are here. So just nothing but love for you, FL. So glad to see you here. So good to see you here. And everyone else as well, of course. ICU says, Kamali, are you still going to do that debate with Shadowban on the infrastructure bill, like you said on Franco? I am absolutely interested in that and would love to do that. I don't think that we were going to do it on the infrastructure bill. I don't know what kind of differences we're going to have on the infrastructure bill. I'm pretty sure Shadowban and I likely agree mostly on the infrastructure bill. What I said that I would debate Shadowban on is the general strike summit and what that was about, really. And I'm still down to do that, even though I am, like I said earlier, no longer a member of the Revolutionary Blackout Network, but happy to still have that debate, because I just think, I was a part of that general strike summit. I did help to organize it, along with a lot of other great folks that put in a lot of work to make that happen. And I saw a lot of misinformation when Shadowban was discussing it. And honestly, I just think his view on economics is so different than my vision of economics and how we amass power and labor power and fight back against capitalism. And so as a proponent of dual power, workplace democracy, housing democracy, just radical democracy in all of our institutions, and the development of the institutions that we would like to see replace these capitalist structures. I would love to debate Shadowban on that. So definitely happy to do that. Marcus, Kate, I don't know if I can. I just talk about shit. I'm an honest person, so I apologize if anything that I say. I apologize to the folks that if you need something kept off the record, you're gonna have to explicitly tell me that you want it off the record. But if you don't say off the record, then it's on the damn record because you know that I do that I'm a public figure here. So Marcus Cage, who I was also on Franco with, reached out to me and he said that he would be interested and happy to facilitate that debate. So happy to do that. Looking forward to that. Most certainly love to do that. ICU. Thanks for the question. FL says, I thought he was hoping to rebuttal debate. Exactly. Critiques of the General Strike Summit and views against the General Strike in general. I don't know about infrastructure bill. Yeah, exactly. That's precisely the correct. And I would gladly debate shadow band about economics in general, really. I think that we might, honestly, in some respects, there will be a lot that we actually will agree on about a general strike, because I don't, a general strike to me is a form of agitation, really. And it's not the means to an end, really. It's not even, it's not the end, and it's not even the means to an end for me, really. It's about agitation, right? It's about agitating the working class and having an opportunity to radicalize people. And I think that a general strike can provide the atmosphere for that. However, I don't believe that we're going to, a strike is only, all you do under a strike typically, I mean, if we're talking real, a strike that has at its core, at its heart, a turn towards, democracy in the workplace, yeah, by all means, but that's not happening through a strike. A strike, all I believe you can get through a strike is going to be begging the capitalists for some crumbs here and there, right? Higher wages, slightly better benefits, and then slowly over time they'll turn around and they'll start to chip away at all of those gains, as we've seen them do historically. Like, this is just a fair reading of history, right? So as you read history, you just see that these things don't fundamentally change the system. Strikes have historically not fundamentally changed the system of capitalism. They really formed under the Industrial Revolution. We didn't see strikes before that. You didn't have strikes under feudalism, really. And so this idea of striking is really a capitalist, not creation, but it has formed out of capitalism. And it honestly, tends to uphold capitalism, right? It reforms capitalism in a way that people are a little bit more, happy, a little bit more complacent at that point, and they don't fight as hard, right, for the next reform. So, and I don't want reform. I want fundamental revolutionary system change. I want the system to be fundamentally changed. And I can go on and on about this, and y'all know I can, but I won't, right? So let me see. I'm just going to keep flipping through some comments here. Steve Breedlove says, I think the difference between direct consensus and oh shit, my camera just bonked out. Producer, could you help me and see what's going on there? Sorry, y'all. I think you can still hear me, but you can't see me. I'll fix my camera here. I don't know. Like I said, you see, we got to have some technical difficulties because that's just the way things go, right? Hold on one second. You're gonna try to reset this thing. Sorry about that, y'all. Maybe just try, we'll try resetting the camera maybe. Yeah. One more time, I unplugged the cable here, and so maybe we'll get it going. I'll try a different port here. Sorry, y'all. This is the technical difficulties we can expect on a first broadcast back, right? I hope y'all can still hear me. Let me know in the comments. Okay, they can hear. So all right, I think we're gonna get back the video here. Give me one sec. One sec. All right, we'll see. We'll see if we can get this back. Hold on one sec, y'all. But yeah, so the difference between Steve Breedlove says, I think the difference between direct consensus and sociocracy is the latter is based on acceptable compromise rather than absolute agreement. No, direct consensus is not Okay, I think I'm back. Let me know if y'all can see me again, y'all. So Steve Breedlove, I'm just gonna keep going because I think I'm back here. Steve Breedlove said that I think the difference between direct consensus and sociocracy is the latter, sociocracy, is based on acceptable compromise rather than absolute agreement. I just want to point out that you're, no, not to be like, no hostility here, but it's just not the case. Democratic consensus is absolutely not a unanimous decision-making process. As part of the process of democratic consensus, and that's why they said consent decision-making as a part of sociocracy, because that is democratic consensus. That is the exact same as democratic consensus, is just another name for democratic consensus, consent decision-making. And as part of democratic consensus, that consensus, the key word in consensus is consent. All it means is that nobody stands in absolute outright rejects it, right? So it is based on an acceptable compromise. You have the ability, when you cast a vote under democratic consensus, to cast a vote for, typically it's 4 or 5 options. We typically use 4 in the orgs that I've used it in, and that is to reject somebody makes a proposal, and then people, you discuss it, you have some time for question and answers. It's just about asking, base questions, better understanding of it. Then you can have a call for consent to see where people stand on this. And then at that point, people can do one of 4 things. They can either reject the proposal, which means I block this. I cannot live with this. I outright reject this. And excuse me. And so that says that proposal cannot move forward as long as even one person blocks a proposal or rejects a proposal. So there's the ability to reject. There's the option to stand aside, which means I am not voting in favor of this. I do not approve of this, but I will not reject this. I will simply stand aside. I will not help you implement this proposal. However, my feelings on this are not so strong that I outright reject it. Then there is raise issues or raise concerns is another option that you have. So I raise concerns. Hey, listen, I'm willing to go along with this. I'm willing to help you implement this, but I would like to raise concerns now. Ideally, we will address those concerns and resolve those concerns before we move forward. However, we can still move forward with this proposal without resolving those concerns, okay? But it's a chance to raise concerns, and your concerns that you're raising are usually, these are valid, legitimate concerns that are about trying to improve the proposal, right? So, and then the 4th option is to say, I approve of this. I'm fully on board, love the idea, I'm happy to implement. So that is the process of democratic consensus. And so it is not unanimous, a unanimous decision-making process. If everyone is simply a stand aside or above, the proposal can move forward, right? So it's a way to just make sure that everyone consents to it. Nobody is outright rejecting it, which would mean they do not consent to this proposal moving forward. And what that does, the reason that that's better than a majoritarian democracy, and I'm sure Steve agrees with this, the reason that that's better than a majoritarian democracy is so often we have a minority in society. Like imagine, right? Oh, the webcam just came out again. Oh, careful. I think we just had a little bump. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about all these technical issues here. See if we can get it back. Nope, it's doing the same. Sorry, y'all. This is not. If you've watched the show before, you know that we typically don't have this much technical difficulties during a live stream. Unfortunately, we got the puppy here. Maybe if the camera comes back, I'll introduce you to Boomy as a reward here for you can meet my beautiful pup. Boomy here, but it's not. It's so hopefully that clears that up, Steve. That it's not outright consensus. It's not outright unanimous decision making. It's really a consensual process. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna try to fix this this video, and I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, yep. I'll pull up. I'm sorry, and I'll pull up your comment in a sec. Okay, awesome. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Restarting everything. Resetting this camera. Maybe we can get Boomy on cam here when we come back. So okay, we're back. All right. Let's give the people Boomy. I see you said thanks. I fell on the stream. I saw he was on a panel and talked about shadow bans, coverage of the infrastructure bill. No, it wasn't the infrastructure bill. Trust me. That wasn't me. I never talked about we weren't talking about the infrastructure bill at that point. So, all right. So we'll get past. Usually I have my producer here to help me with these comments because I can only read them so fast. So I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom here, according to my. Oh, she fancy is in the building. What's up? Oh, she fancy. Yes, we back. Okay. This is Boomy, everyone. If anyone is an Avatar fan, Avatar The Last Airbender, they will know the reference to Boomy. Boomy is all about the kisses. So, all right. You can't be French. I mean, we can't be making love here on camera, all right? So, but we do want to make love, not war, right? Boomy is definitely anti-imperialist, anti-racist, anti-capitalist. This is Boomy the anarchist pup, all right? Boomy the anarchist poodle here, all right? Little mini poodle, all right? So say hi to the people, Boomy. Boomy's the cutest. Boomy's 10 weeks old, mini poodle, like I said. Okay, we love you. I love you too, baby. All right. Say hi to the people. Look at you. That's you. Look at who's that? Oh my God. Boomy is all about it. Boomy will, if you don't kiss, look, he will bite. He's like, all right, kisses or bites, your choice. All right. That's the only form of democratic consensus that Boomy is about. All right. So, all right. All right. So, yeah, we needed a hypoallergenic pup because of my roommate. All right. Yes. A lot of people know Simba from before. Simba moved away to Maine with his mama. So, we needed more puppy love in the place, right? So, oh, Melon Lord in the building. We know Melon Lord knows the Boomy reference. What's up, Melon Lord? Melon Lord is also the name is also an Avatar, The Last Airbender reference. Toph there, the Melon Lord. So here's Boomy, also from a fellow Earthbender here. Boomy. Let's say what's up to Melon Lord. That's your Earthbending cousin. All right, Boom. These are soft little bites. Technically, ooh, ouchies. Okay, well, we were trying to work on the puppy biting, right? But so yeah. So Steve says, my context, we have more consensus elements in my local DSA, which technically is Robert's rules, than in the Green Party, which has 4 pages of bylaws on consensus. Essentially, it is performative. Yeah, no, those places are not using, proper consensus democracy. It is very much performative. I totally agree with that. Okay, previous Steve comment, I'm gonna find, okay. He says, none taken. Every consensus situation I've been in spends countless time debating feelings rather than seeking results. Probably been using it wrong. Exactly, yeah. Consensus typically works best with smaller groups, and really, at that point, what you really need to do when you get too large of a group is to break into smaller groups and have delegates, like delegates that will go and will represent the consensual process for the smaller group. And so you try to reach consent amongst the smaller groups, and then really put forth a delegate to in with the large group. It really only works up to like typically 20 or so people with democratic consensus. And once you're over that, oh my God, this video camera situation is abhorrent. What is going on? All right, Boomy, I'm gonna let you go. Oh, Boomy, looks like Boomy had a little accident in the crate earlier. Okay. So this sorry y'all, this camera is really bugging on me. I'm gonna take off soon just because I'm gonna end the stream soon, just because technical difficulties here. But needless to say, we are back and better than ever. Okay, that came back right away this time, luckily. Boom, you want to show them how obedient you can be sometimes. Ready? Let me see. Where's Boomy Streets? Boomy. Give me a treat. Let's see if we can get Boomy to do a couple things here for you. Ready? Sit.
He's already sitting.
There you go. Good boy, Boomy. Hold on. I'm coming. Hold on. Oh. Boomy standing up there. Ready? Boomy. Here, let me get my name off screen. I think I gotta get my name off screen. How do I do that again? We're learning again. Here we go. Ready? Boomy. Ready? Ready? Yeah. Ready? Sit. The desk is really slippery. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Down. Nope. Oh, camera gone. All right, y'all. So we're having some technical difficulties with the camera. I'll get this figured out for the next stream. I think it's just that the cable is a little. I think Boomy might have chewed on it a little bit. So we're gonna get a new wire going and get that fixed up. But thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate everyone for joining. The comments have been great. Really appreciate the perspective from Steve and everyone else. Honestly, reach out. Oh, also, I wanted to say, and I wish I could get the camera working so that I can say this on camera. Hold on, let me try to get this camera working. One more try. Mama, do you want to come and take Boom Boom? There you go. Can you stand up? Hang on the desk. No, he's good for now, I think.
You can just read through the comments.
Yeah. Let me.
Screen and then we'll
Okay. Yeah. I'll go through some comments. I'll put the comments on screen while we try to fix my stupid thing. Oh, I can also share screen and like share this Sociocracy thing again so that you can see something at least, right? Boomy farted and it's vicious. Ooh, Boomy.
Oh, baby.
Oh my Lord, Boomy.
Oh.
Boomy made a boom boom over here. Okay. So yeah, you just pull up if you see. And that might not be, you gotta use this.
Oh.
Yeah. Tammy's here. She might just pop on. If this video comes on, you're gonna be on screen with me. Warning.
No.
Warning. Yeah. Oh no, you won't be on screen right away. I really wish I could get this stupid camera working again. Reset the cam when you get a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Ware Pilgrim in the building. What's up, Ware Pilgrim? So good to see you. So good to see you, comrade. Appreciate you being with us. Love to see you in here. Thank you. Shout out to Ware Pilgrim, long time comrade of the channel here. And we got big things coming where we're going to be turning Radical Democracy channel into a network, and we're going to have some more hosts on the network. Also, what I wanted to say is, if anyone knows of anyone or is an anarchist, we're looking particularly initially to develop a core of Black anarchists. So if folks identify as Black, proudly, unapologetically Black, and they are anarchists, really what we need to see in people are that they reject all forms of hierarchy and domination. We want nothing to do with that. And also willing to participate in a democratic worker cooperative, then please, reach out, give us suggestions. If you have any thoughts of folks that you would like to see on the network. And again, we will be building coalition. We will be collaborating with lots of other anarchists. Quaker anarchist comes to mind, formerly Quaker socialist, great comrade of ours, and definitely comes to mind as someone that you will be seeing us, collaborating with in the near future, I hope. And so just keep an eye out. I see you. Okay, did you reset the camera? Yeah. No. Can you? All right. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Going way back. All right. SU says cool. Thanks. Cool. Yep. Keep going. Yeah, exactly. This is why I need Kwame in here. Kwame, where are you? I need you in here so that my failures here are not, are not indicative of this whole channel here. Yeah, let's get the camera reset. Is the power on it to it? Like, what is the deal with it? Things. I just don't get it today. I lost my wallet today earlier, and luckily some kind Samaritan returned my wallet to me. I had a weird day. There is no way to reset.
Well, I turned it off and on.
Oh, yes, exactly. That's the only way to reset. Why aren't you like in your producer mode on with me here? with your laptop. Steve says it always goes to a fallback majority vote. There's always one person who thinks a minor decision will destroy the organization. It is common to spend an hour approving an agenda. So important point here, and I wish I could do a whole stream on the Democratic consensus, really, and I will in the very near future, Steve, and I hope you're there for it. Keep Steve's comment up. It's an important one. This typically in Democratic consensus, I think similar thing. I like the idea of sociocracy because it probably explicitly spells this out, but really Democratic consensus is supposed to spell this out. There's one part of Democratic consensus is, and the reason why we're looking for anarchists on this network is because it's crucial that that you are really strongly ideologically aligned with the people that you are participating in democratic consensus with. You don't have to agree on everything, on every fine point, but you have to agree on a core ideology, because if you don't, everything will not pass, will not reach consensus. You will never reach consensus with a bunch of people with these wildly disparate views. So it's really important to democratic consensus to be strict and to not do big tent politics, right? Big tent politics is what the failure of big tent politics is it wants to be too big too fast, right? It's this like capitalistic market force, this market ideology of I have to be big, being big matters, getting a lot of views, having a big audience. That somehow matters, and not about, not the core of like radical truth telling and sticking and adhering to a sensible, a coherent, let me say a coherent ideology, right? We're going to really, really tightly spell out what the ideology of this platform, of this network is, so that folks can support it, knowing that they actually truly genuinely support the mission, the goals. If you are a person that is there's this great person that I've collaborated with over on RBN. Her name was Kiki, Dr. Linda Kiki Vish, and she gives this beautiful framework. And we had a whole discussion about a framework for cooperation and collaboration. And I plan to have her on the channel so that we can really discuss this with the audience here. But one thing that she talks about in her framework for who we can coalition build with is, and this is the distinction that I've made in the past about the difference between the authoritarian left and the revolutionary left. And there are people that are on the left, and they're not social democrats. They are of the left, what I would call left, but they are authoritarian left. They are still comfortable with some forms of hierarchy, authoritarianism, domination, right? And they're okay with that. And they by and large, these people, some of them will just admit it, and I appreciate those people. I respect the hell out of those people that will just admit that. I love those people, actually, because at least then we can get to a reasonable discussion. But a lot of these people don't even realize it. Like they won't even acknowledge that they're still comfortable with forms of hierarchy, forms of domination. And if you can't even acknowledge that, if you can't even admit to your, if you're still in denial, you're not going to be able to resolve the issue. So one of the things that we're building a coalition with people that are revolutionary leftists. I want, I'll do like, I'll collaborate here and there with an authoritarian leftist on like just a discussion, try to have some conversation and some dialectical, debate. I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to sit here and try to build an organization with an authoritarian leftist, because we have a fundamental disagreement. They are okay with some forms of domination, some forms of power and hierarchy. I am not okay with any. I want nothing to do with any of them. And I try to live this. Like I try to live this in my day-to-day life. I try to live this in my relationships. I'm not just talking the talk, I'm trying to walk the walk. There's a great Bell Hooks quote, and it was I posted about it on Twitter at one point, and it talks about, she was talking about it in relation to Paulo Freire, and what she talks about is that you can teach just as much from the way you exist in the world as you can from the books that you write, or I will expand that out to say the content you produce, right? So a lot of people think that the good that they're doing this great thing, and it's really this content that they're creating. They love to stand there and to tell other people how to live their lives without living their lives that way themselves, right? I want nothing to do with that shit. Like, I'm not a hypocrite. I don't like being made into a hypocrite. And I want nothing to do with that, right? So what you're going to see here on this channel is, on this network, is folks that outright reject the idea of power, of domination, and want nothing to do with it. And then from there, we can move to having discussions around how we do that. And from there, you can get to real consensus. But two things have to exist in consensus, right? In consensus democracy: respect and ideological alignment, right? If you don't have that, and part of democratic consensus, what they say is, listen, if you find yourself constantly or routinely rejecting democratic proposals, then you should have the freedom of disassociation from an organization, right? You should have the freedom to disassociate. Listen, and what they used to do in one anarchist principle, one thing that they've done in the past is they've said, listen, okay, if you find yourself continually at odds with the larger group, what you can do is, and if there's a group of people that continue to find themselves at odds and they're rejecting proposal after proposal, continue to be rejected by these people, then what you do is you get them together and say, listen, you all get together, all right? And we will, and what they do is they say, here, we're gonna set you up with a little community right outside of our community here, right? You'll go right out to the outskirts of it, and we will support you, all right? We will fully support you. We will give you all the resources that you need to build your society up. And all that we have to agree is that we're not going to do harm to each other, right? We're not going to try to attack each other. We're not going to try to do harm to each other. As long as we can agree to that basic fundamental thing. And it's like, you can live over there. You can exist over there. We will support you until you are self-sustaining, right? And we will continue to exist over here where we can continue to move forward and progress and develop our society, right? But I honestly, I've seen this, you know, and I've thought about this in the context of, like, you know, we've seen a lot of, like, people, there's been this, like, hard split with, like, vaccinations and you know, it's like, listen, if there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to vaccinate myself, I refuse to vaccinate myself, you know, maybe we get to a point, because there is a realistic public health issue with, if you're somebody that believes in vaccination, somebody else doesn't believe in vaccination, there's an issue there. There's a conflict there. And what we need to do is to be able to fairly, in a decent, fair, just way, to say, okay, well, listen, you folks just go over there, and we're not going to build up a border or anything like that, but we're just, you know, this is your community over here. You stay within your community, you do that. We can eventually get to the point of agreeing trade, things like that. You know, we can get to that point, but in the meantime, we'll just support you. You build up your society over there with under your rules, and we will support you in all the ways that you need. But we are at a fundamental disagreement. And so it's really important to the core of democratic consensus that you have true ideological alignment. And I think that the issue here, Steve, is what we see in a lot of these organizations. DSA is one of the main ones I see. They try way too hard to be a big tent socialist. They don't like to say, you know, strict, you know, you got people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling herself a democratic socialist, being a member of DSA, and also people like myself. It's like, you can't have those two people. We are fundamentally at odds. So that's the sort of core of the issue that's happening there, that's arising with these big tent socialist organizations. Socialists need to get a lot more specific, because socialism is a big tent ideology. There's a lot of different forms of socialism. There's, you know, social democracy is a form of socialism. There are plenty of people that they call that socialism. They are okay to call that socialism. That is a form of socialism. That's why I've been very specific about being an anarchist now, because I realized through, you know, my political development that I'm not just some broad tent, democratic socialist. You know, there's Marxist Leninists, there's Trotskyists that all fall under this. There are people that believe in democratic centralism. Like, I don't believe in that. I don't want that as my means of developing democracy. So we can't build directly in the same organization together. We can collaborate together. We can cooperate together. We can live in harmony, separated out, but we just can't be a part of the same core circle and same core organization. But we can still collaborate with folks like that, and build cooperative economies with people like that, right? And they can struggle with that, and we can struggle with our ideology, and we'll see what comes out to develop a better society. But that's just that, and we just got to get real about that, and start to move past that. So yeah. Thanks to everyone for joining. I'm really gonna cut it because it's already, I feel like, gone on longer than I had intended. What are we at? An hour? I'm over an hour. Okay, I gotta stop this. I never know when to quit. Thank you so much for all your comments. today, Steve. I know you got to take off. Thank you so much for all the comments. This was really great feedback. Sorry to everyone for not being able to figure out my video here. I don't know what the weirdness is that's going on. I should have pulled up something on democratic consensus just to show that that it is not a unanimous sort of process. But yeah, there's a great, I highly recommend a video by, his name is Saint Andrewism. Watch Saint Andrewism's video on democratic consensus. He does an amazing YouTube video on democratic consensus. He cites another person that also did a video on it. And so you should definitely check that out. It's called How Consensus Democracy Works. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I feel like if I play part of it, I'm going to get flagged by YouTube, but let's see. I'll do a quick thing and then I'll take off. Sorry about that stupid thing there. Saint Andrewism, I love you. I hope you don't flag me for this. You have a great video here, and I'm just trying to share your work. So don't flag me for this. Don't take me down for this. Okay, here's Saint Andrewism talking about this.
For consensus to work well and help facilitate the development of all participants, there needs to be a commitment to it, shared foundational principles, and a unity of purpose, a common goal. Self-empowerment is essential, as every individual in the group should have a voice in the process. There needs to be some level of trust, which can only flourish when people can check themselves and be open to new ideas. There has to be respect as well, respect of cultural and personal differences, and respect for emotional and logical concerns. Active participation and cooperation cannot thrive in an environment where an attitude of competition and domination reigns. Folks should approach group discussion with a helpful heart and an open mind. Conflict should be embraced in a healthy manner, without guilt, defensiveness, or alienation. Constructive explorations of the roots of conflict could illuminate creative solutions and an opportunity for growth. Patience is extremely important for the process of discussion, disagreement, consideration, and synthesis the consensus comprises. People are going to make mistakes, and sometimes discussions will take a long time. Don't reprimand, don't rush, it's a collaborative process. And speaking of the process, make sure people get it. I'm going to outline a particular process and structure, but depending on your group's dynamics, things may be able to flow a bit differently. Like, if everyone's comfortable speaking their mind in your group, you may not need the exact structure I'm about to outline. Whatever process your group does operate with, though, should be clearly communicated and understood by all members. Cool? Cool. So, first and foremost, a person submits a proposal. It helps if people are able to read and digest the proposal before meetings just to save time. The proposal is really in its seed stage at this point, expected to grow and change significantly by the end of the participatory process. Before we dive into level 1, people should ask any clarifying questions about the proposal. Not concerns or ideas or comments yet, just questions to ensure mutual understanding. Then we could get into level 1, where the group can launch into a general discussion about the proposal. What problem is this proposal addressing? Why is it a good idea? Why is it a good idea for the group? Is it in line with our values? Who is it going to impact? How will it affect the group? How is it relevant to the group? What are the facts related to it? What are some of the problems with it? And from there, the facilitator can call for consensus. There can be many calls for consensus throughout the process. This is just the first one. It doesn't mean asking, is there consensus, or does everyone agree? It means asking, are there any concerns remaining? This gives an opportunity for shyer members of the group to speak up. Silence does not imply consent. Only after all voices are heard can the facilitator go ahead and declare consensus and move on to the next step. In level 2, the scribe can start listing out the concerns that were raised in level 1 on a blackboard or whiteboard. At this stage, we're not resolving or validating any concerns, just listing them. Doesn't matter if they're reasonable or unreasonable, vague or well defined. Phrasing is important when it comes to constructively raising concerns. Saying things like, I'm concerned because XYZ, instead of saying something like, boo, this sucks, can be a lot more helpful. The facilitator's job through this process of concern identification is to interrupt any attempts to defend the proposal, resolve the concern, judge the concern, or dismiss anyone's feelings. Only once it's all laid out can the group begin to look for connections and patterns between the concerns. Then the group can move on to level 3. At level 3, the group can begin to resolve related concerns. Make sure to ask any clarifying questions about the concerns before attempting to resolve them, so that no one is approaching it with misconceptions and projections. Now, there are different ways to resolve concerns, depending on the type of concern. Some concerns can lead to mere modifications to the proposal, or lead to ideas even better than the original proposal. It's really a creative and collaborative process when it comes to resolving concerns. Sometimes, while addressing some concerns, other concerns may be raised, and then those need to be resolved too. One by one, you clear through and resolve the list of concerns, and then you can call for consensus. Same process as last time. Silence doesn't imply consent, and if consensus is reached, then boom, proposal gets through. Congratulations. If consensus isn't reached though, discuss why. And if consensus can't be reached, well, there are options. The person who raised the concern can either stand aside or block the concern. If they stand aside, then they agree to let the proposal go through as long as their concerns are recorded within the proposal itself. That way, it can be discussed in the future as needed, and they don't have to play a role in the implementation of the particular proposal. They're not responsible for the consequences either. Or, especially if they feel quite strongly about it, they can also declare a block. Blocks are used rarely and carefully, but they give individuals the power to influence decisions that affect them. It's not a mere matter of disagreement, it's a serious contention that asserts that they cannot live with the consequences of that proposal and explains why. The group can then move on to a different proposal. Consensus wasn't reached. Boo-hoo. I will say though, if someone regularly finds themselves at odds with the group, disassociation may be the best option for them and for the group. Now, let's talk roles in the consensus process. These should be
All right,
rotated
so I'm gonna
fairly
stop this
regularly
here.
where the
I think that
discussion is flowing.
that is a great explanation, and I really urge everyone to check out the full video from Saint Andrewism. It's called How Consensus Democracy Works. You can find it on YouTube. It's a great video, well worth the watch. His channel is, in general, well worth the watch. I don't know if he himself is an anarchist. I haven't listened to enough of him to know, but he definitely does a lot of content talking about anarchism, and has helped me to, has helped shape my understanding of anarchism as well, in some ways. So shout out to St. Andrewism and the great work that he does, or they do. Really appreciate what they've been able to do. So I'm gonna have to end this video here because, like I said, technical difficulties. The only way that I can get my video back up and running now is if I restart my laptop. So I apologize to everyone for the technical difficulties today. I promise, you know me, we typically do better than this, I promise. But just a rough day today, rough start. But yeah, so thanks to everyone for joining us. You'll be seeing more of us, like I said. Going to be developing a network. This will be a network, not just a single channel, not just a single voice any longer. And we are taking applications, not really applications, really. Honestly, we're going to be, open up the platform to pretty much anyone that is, anarchist and wants to have a platform to speak on. You are invited to come on to talk. And if we have some discussions and we see that our ideology aligns, then we can talk about, someone joining formally as a member. So shout out to everyone, and thanks to all the great comments today. Thank you. Boomy says we gotta go. All right, folks, y'all know I have trouble saying goodbye, but thanks to everyone for joining us today. Hope to see all the rest of our comrades in the chat next time around, and look out for more content. All right, peace.